Hey folks, before we get started with this video, I just wanted to show you that I had went into the service manual to look how to service or disassemble the PVT system because I was putting the EPI clutch system in. And here they say for the touring models that I need to remove the driver's seat and the rear cab assembly, and they show a picture of it. So that's what I was attempting to do, as you'll see at the beginning of this video. After I was actually all done with everything and I started going back through this manual, I actually traveled down further to where it says for servicing the belt. And I'll show you guys here in a minute. See if I can find it. Belt installation, belt inspection. Let's see if I can find the touring. So for this one, it says position the vehicle on a level surface and place the transmission in park, remove the T40 Torx-headed screws retaining the rear skid plate, and remove the skid plate from under the vehicle. Remove the driver's seat, remove the 11 screws retaining the PVT cover. And then it actually wants you to remove the cover from the bottom, which I thought was interesting. So they're saying that you can inspect the belt, and I'm guessing replace it by removing the PVT, or some people call it the CVT belt cover, from underneath the vehicle. So I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to let you guys know that I guess there are two different ways of doing this. I felt on the trails it'd probably be pretty difficult to get your vehicle up high enough to get that cover out. It might be easier just to pull off the top like I did in the video. Anyway, enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. Working on a 2013 Sportsman Touring. We're changing the CVT belt, or the ORD, I guess they call it, for Polaris, whatever. Anyway, the belt, and it's not the same as an XP. There's not a removable frame here to take off. So you have to take off this foot panel. So you're gonna want two Torx bits for here. The size of that is a T25, it looks like. T25. Okay, and then you have to take off a bunch of these little plastic clips. You're gonna wanna take the side panel off. That's this piece here. That's what you need the two Torxes for, so that you can get this off. You're gonna pull this front piece off first, then the back piece, and it'll all slide out. Okay, that's gonna give you access for the, see how you have all the opening there now. Hopefully that's gonna be enough. We're gonna find out here in a minute. But I wanted to show you, all you need for all the cover bolts is 10 millimeters. You got a couple up here you're gonna have to reach. There's this little plastic piece here. It's held with a little plastic clip right on the top right there. You can just push it with a screwdriver from the top if you're careful, and pop it out, and that'll make this plastic piece a little loose for you so you can move it around. I still may need to take the whole top back piece off though. It is not like the XP. Even though they say that this is an XP, it's got a longer rear end on it. It does have a rear brace right there that goes underneath, that attaches right here, and it attaches up right here at the top with a 10 millimeter, but it just doesn't give you enough room. But I was not able to get that cover off without taking this back section off. So you're gonna need to take out the plastic clips here. Okay, and then on the sides here, there's actually a full solid plate right here, this metal bracket with two bolts here and two bolts back here. And the whole thing will come off. As you can see, it's all loose. So you'll have two on the other side as well. You'll have to unhook your electrical to your lights, and then you take the whole back side off. That should give you the room you need. So I'll be back. Okay, don't forget the clips on the other side. So you'll see there's clips here, but on this side as well. You don't need to take the foot panel off on this side, but you do need to get all the clips here. Now, if you just lift this straight up, see that? It'll just pull out of here. It's pushed into here, so just be careful. Just pull it straight up, and now it's off. So all I got left to do is unhook the electrical connectors on the lights and then pick it up. So these wires right here they actually disconnected a plug right here. So you're gonna unplug the plug down there. On these lights here, if you just twist them to the left, lefty-loosey, it'll just pull out and you can just hang them down there. Then on the top of the harness up here, it comes across up here and there's a clip right here. You just stick your screwdriver in there and just pop it open. And then that should allow your lights to, the harnesses to just fall. This just lifts up off of here, as you can see. It's just sitting here. It's not connected to anything, so you can just lift it up and pick it up and take it off. Here's that other plug I was talking about right here. Comes down and disconnects right here. So you'll have to turn it in the direction you need so you can see the plug and figure out how it comes out. I don't see, I have to get a light in here so I can see what I'm doing. I'll get a light so I can see. All right, so this plug literally is just pushed in together. There's no clip on it or nothing, but it literally was like frozen in there. So I had to take a screwdriver and just slide it in and start prying. You actually look at the metal tabs, they actually look a little bent. It's interesting, but they just push together, so I don't know. They're just so freaking tight. It's crazy, but I was able to pull them apart, so that's done. This is all done. It looks like there may be another connector up here I have to pry to get these wires to drop. So we'll get those, and then I'll be ready to take it apart. All right. All right, so as you can see, I got the rear cover off all in one piece. So again, there's gonna be 2 frame mounts right here, 2 frame mounts right here. This wire harness has a plug right here, and then you have your light that you'll have to turn to the left and then slide out. And then on the other side, you'll have a light, turn left, pop out. Then this wire has 3 clips, like one here, one in the middle, and one here that hold it on the frame. So you'll have to take a screwdriver and pop those free. Okay, then the biggest thing I was looking at was this here. So there's a plastic clip that like holds this on right here, and this hits it. I think the easiest thing is gonna do is just to take the screwdriver off right here, or loosen this with a screwdriver and take this housing off. This will allow this plastic to move back at this direction, lift up and slide out. As you can see, there's just no room right here. You have to lift it way up here to get it out. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off here, pop this out real quick. As you can see, I didn't have to take this frame bracket out or any of that side apart at all. I left the whole side on. I just had to take this side off. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm not 100% sure if I needed to take the footwell off on this side, because I had to take the back off anyway. I'm not 100% on that. If I didn't have to take the footwell off, then I wouldn't have had to take that off. So I guarantee you that you do need to take the back off. So if you wanted to start with taking the back off and then see if you can get that out. All right, so this is some of the craziest. Okay, so if, in this case, I cannot get that cover out. The only thing I can think of is if I were to drop the bottom cover so that I can move it. But in this case, I'm thinking literally I can take this bolt out. I can pop this out with the cover in and take everything out. I can also change the belt right now without taking the cover off. So it's interesting. It seems like the only way to get the cover out is to pull the bottom primary, or the main primary, which I don't need to pull the cover off to change the belt, because here's the deal to notch this to pop the belt off. The belt's already been replaced. It doesn't look bad. I'm gonna mic it and whatever, but I'm changing it to a badass belt. It has a Gates belt. It was just replaced less than 1,000 miles ago. I probably, yeah, we'll just say less than 1,000 miles. So it's definitely broken in, but it's nothing wrong with it. There's no funny wear on it or nothing, but I'm gonna put a badass belt on it. Anyway, we're putting a EPI collection kit in it. That's why we're taking it apart. I guess I don't need to take that apart as long as I can get my tool in there and pop that all apart. So we'll just keep moving forward. All right, so here's the point we're at now. I was able to get that top one loosed. As soon as I got it loose, it started just sliding off. So I just went ahead and took it off and then went to the bottom. I got the bolt. So again, the top secondary is righty-tighty, And the primary is lefty-tighty, so you want to turn it to the right to loosen it. I was able to get it loose and get it all out already. Now we're going to put our special tool in here. Now this is righty-tighty, so we're just going to turn this in here and put it in. Start turning it until we get it to bottom out. It should bottom out on the crank at some point. There it is. Now we're ready. Now I'll put the pry bar back in there and turn again. All right, I've gotten the 4 bolts out. I made sure that when I pulled this apart, I kept these in the same spot so that I didn't end up rotating it 180 degrees. Now, when I took this out, I went ahead and left the spring in here like this. And I just went ahead and made sure that I took this out in one piece so that I didn't end up, like I said, rotating 180. Now, I don't see any shims or anything in here at all. There's like no shims in there. And when I took the spring out and rotated it, there's no shims in here either. Which I thought maybe there's supposed to be some in there, but I guess not. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just blow this out. I did mark, there's an X right here. You can see there's an X. And on this other side of this, there was an X as well. And I just put 2 marks there just to remind me. So now I need to just change the spring and then clean this out and put it back together. All right, I got my primary apart now. I noticed that there was a lot of shit on this spot here, like buildup. So you make sure you clean that off real good. And I just took off one of the weights. A lot of people want to know, especially me when I was buying the kit, like what was the stock weight and you know what's the difference between the stock and the old. So I wanted to show you guys. First of all, the 24-63, 63 I believe is the weight. The new EPI ones are 62. So they're only 1 ounce difference. It's not that much difference. I think the biggest thing that they're doing is changing the springs. When you put these up to each other at the angles and you line them up, you'll see that the bottom area is a lot different, and the thickness of them, I think. So you'll see that the thickness here is the same, but then the thickness here is different. So they've added some kind of a shape to it there. I did notice mine are also a little bit dirty here, so I'm going to clean those pins to make sure they go good. But I've been having a little bit of an issue with when I go to take off, like a hesitation, and then boom, it engages, and I'm wondering almost if this is what the problem was that right there. You know, you want everything to be able to move and slide easily, and this thing is definitely filthy dirty, and maybe it wasn't sliding up and down on this, because you'll see here that this is what goes up and down to allow the belt to slide, and it was filthy. So that may be a big problem for me, is why I was having late engagement. The main primary is a smaller spring, and the secondary, I already changed it, and it's a bigger spring. Those are the stock ones. The new ones, let's compare the difference between the primary. Now the back is the purple one is the one that goes in the secondary, and the red one is a little bit longer. So it's definitely a little different. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, I'll be keeping my old stuff just in case something happens and I don't like it and I want to resell these later or something. So we're going to clean that up real good. But right now we're just changing the weights out one at a time, and then we'll get that new spring in there. Basically all I'm doing is taking these 4 bolts out and then sliding this off of here. Here's the cover. So I just got to make sure my bushing's, you know, clean and good. It was a little bit hard to get it off. On the top there was a little bit of buildup, and so you got to just clean it off and then clean this bushing out real good. So it should be good. So we're just going to finish cleaning this up. I'm going to use a little bit of brake cleaner and some paper towels and just try to clean that area where this slides up and down. I think that's going to be my main issue. So if you're having a problem where you give it gas and it kind of hesitates and then boom, slams into gear, probably got some dirt and crap in your primary and you just need to clean it. So I'm pretty much ready to put it all back together. I'm going to do it in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to take some Scotch-Brite on here and go ahead and polish this up a little bit, or rough it up, whatever you want to call it. It does have a little groove right here, I noticed. I actually can feel that right there, and it does feel like a little groove all the way around right there. So I'm kind of curious if you guys have any issues, or if you guys have a little groove in there too from the belt. So that's maybe a little troubling for me. But anyway, I do have just a single little groove right there. Anyway, we're gonna take some Scotch-Brite. I seem to have one on the other side too, on the top. I can feel it now. So anyway, we're gonna take Scotch-Brite, clean this up, and then the same thing with this. This thing does lift up some, so you can clean that whole area right there really good. A little brake cleaner and a paper towel. And take some Scotch-Brite and go ahead and clean this up some. And go in and out with it like that, and then edit probably at some sides to get a little bit cross angle on it. I did check my rollers, and they do spin freely. I did make sure I kept mine in the same exact spot just in case there was anywhere, which there isn't. I noticed when I was watching the EPI video, they didn't even make sure that you kept this piece in the same exact spot, which I thought was interesting. But anyway, I've kept all my washers together, so nothing's gonna get confused or lost. There's a big washer, two of them actually. You have your big washer, then your two little shims, and then this big washer goes right in here. So be careful when you take this out that your washer doesn't fall out there and get lost, because I noticed some videos where people are pulling out the big washer and they're not even showing that there's another washer there. All right, I got the new belt on, the G-Boost. G-Boost. You can look here, it rides a lot higher on the sheaves up here. It doesn't sit in. When it's moving, obviously it's in there, but when it's at idle, it sits a lot higher. Maybe that's what allows it to cool off the belt some when it's just sitting. I don't know, but anyway, I got it all together. I'm getting ready to put it, or I just got the belt on. It's all torqued down. And one of the things I did want to point out, a lot of guys are just bolting these down. It's 100 inch-pounds if you want to torque these bolts. 100 inch-pounds or 11 newton-meters, same thing. I did torque mine. I never go straight to 100. You start with like 50 or 60 and then go up to the next level. Anyway, I'm going to finish buttoning this thing up. So as I'm putting it back together, I did want to point out that I looked it up in the service manual. And you don't have to take off this bottom section, but you can see when you're working there, even with the wheel off, it is kind of free up a little bit of space just to pull it out. And as you can see, I got it back on without having to take anything else apart. So it's really just up to you whether you want to take more parts on or off or not. But you definitely have to take the back section off to gain access. Anyway, I did get it all back together. I haven't really been able to gromp on it or anything. I drove it up and down the street for a minute. But again, I'm braking in the belt, so I can't really test the EPI clutch system. It definitely engages better now that I cleaned that area on the primary. It's engaging more smooth. I do notice that it's louder, like almost like a clunk a little bit, that a lot of guys complain about. I think that my primary is a little broken in and probably getting ready for a new one. If you notice the groove in the sheave area where the belt goes, I'm probably going to need a new primary clutch pretty soon. But in any case, it's engaging definitely smoother, and it does feel like it wants to rev up a little bit higher when it engages, but it is engaging smoothly. So I'm looking forward to really romping on it here pretty soon, but I definitely want to break in the belt a little bit. Also, you'll notice towards the end of the video, prior to getting to this point, that the engine area was a lot cleaner at the end. I did, while I had all the covers off and everything, once I got the belt cover back on and the rear wheel, I did push it out into the front yard, and I do on a pressure washer, and I did pressure washer the engine and all the mud and everything that was there, and that's why it looked a lot cleaner at the end. We're getting ready for winter out here in Idaho. It's mid-November, and so I'm gearing up for winter. So we got the windshield back on, and we got the snow plow in the garage ready to go, so we can use it for plowing. So Anyway, thanks for watching my video, guys.